Question 1.1 consists of 5 data handling questions that were designed to assess your ability to analyze data presented in a table. You are given a table that advertises a list of popular brands of tackies and their prices for Duke's footwear in February 2022. In question 111, you have to define the word mode according to the given context. The given context part here is important. Simply writing down the definition of mode won't get you the full marks. You have to give the definition of the word mode in relation to the situation. And the situation here is the catalog of tackies. So an acceptable answer is the tacky price that appears the most times in the catalog. In question 112, you have to arrange the prices of the tackies in descending order. Descending order in the given context means arranging the tacky prices from highest to lowest. The arrangement will look like this. In question 113, you are instructed to calculate the range of the prices of the tackies. The range is the difference between the highest price and the lowest price. So the range is 1,600 Rand minus 999 Rand, and this equals 601 Rand. In question 114, you are asked to provide a possible next step that comes after data representation. A possible next step after data representation is interpreting the data or analyzing the data. In question 115, you are asked to state whether the above data is numerical data or categorical data, and you have to base your decision on the brand of tackies. Now, numerical data is data that is counted or measured, like the prices of the tackies. Categorical data is data that is divided into groups or categories, like the different brands of tackies or the range of the shoe sizes. Since you are required to make your decision based on the brands of tackies, the data here can be classified as categorical data. Question 1.2 is made up of 5 finance questions that were designed to assess your understanding of financial documents in the context of a statement of accounts. You are given an extract from a TFG account of Mrs. Kelly for the month of February. The credit that she has available to make purchases with is 2,405 Rand and 67 cents. Her installment amount for the month is 480 Rand. This is the minimum amount that she must pay by the due date, which is on the 7th of March. She has a credit limit of 8,690 Rand 50 cents. This means that she can buy goods up to a maximum of this value using this credit facility. The opening balance for this month is 6,284 Rand 83 cents. This is the amount that is owed by her. You know this because when she made a payment on the 22nd of February, the balance decreased to 5,804 Rand 83 cents. This also means that any amount that increases the balance is considered to be a purchase, as we can see here for the 3 purchases made on the 26th of February. 2 values have been left out of the statement and replaced with the letters X and Y. These values are the balance after the last purchase on the 26th of February and the closing balance for the month. The closing balance Y must equal the balance after the last purchase on the 26th of February because no other transactions took place after the last purchase on that day. Now let's take a look at the 5 finance questions in detail. Question 121 instructs you to provide the amount of credit that is available to Mrs. Kelly. This value is read off the statement next to credit available as 2,405 Rand 67 cents. Question 122 instructs you to write down Mrs. Kelly's credit limit. This value is also read off the statement under credit limit as 8,690 Rand 50 cents. In question 123, you have to calculate the total value of the items Mrs. Kelly bought in February 2022. There are 3 purchases made in February. The sum of the cost of these 3 purchases is 615 Rand 50 cents plus 110 Rand 25 cents plus 309 Rand 80 cents, and this gives you a total value of 1,035 Rand 55 cents. In question 124, you are instructed to calculate the values of X and Y. X is the balance after the last purchase on the 26th of February. Since the purchases increases the balance amount, The balance labeled as X is calculated by adding the balance before the last purchase by the value of the purchase. So the value of X will be 6,530 Rand 58 cents plus 309 Rand 80 cents, and this equals 6,840 Rand 38 cents. Since there is no other transactions after the last purchase on the 26th of February, the closing balance Y equals the balance of X. So Y also equals 6,840 Rand 38 cents. Question 1 to 5 instructs you to write down the installment for February 2022. This value is read of the statement next to installment as 480 Rand. Question 2.1 consists of 5 finance questions that were designed to assess your understanding of financial documents in the context of a credit card statement. In Annexure A, you are given a credit card statement that has the usual personal and statement details at the top. The payment information lists the total amount outstanding on this statement. This is the amount owed by Mr. Ntuli. The minimum payment, payment due date, credit limit, and available money to spend are also listed here. A summary of the account is listed next. The balance brought forward is the balance at the start of the statement period, and it's given as a negative 50 Rand 41 cents. This means that at the start of the statement period, the bank owed Mr. Ntuli 50 Rand 41 cents because he probably overpaid the previous month. Payment and credit list the cash that Mr. Ntuli transferred into his credit card account. So this is money that went into his account. Purchase and debits list the total cash that left the account. The closing balance is the balance at the end of the statement period and is listed as 28,135 Rand 76 cents. A VAT summary is then given for the ATM withdrawal fee that was debited on the 3rd of January. The transaction details are as follows. The balance brought forward at the start of the statement period was negative 50 Rand 41 cents. On the 3rd of January, 500 Rand was transferred into the account. On the same day, a withdrawal of 350 Rand was made at an ATM. Because this withdrawal was made at an ATM, a withdrawal fee was charged to the account. On the 11th of January, a travel agency was paid 18,503 Rand 49 cents, and a reservation was made at a hotel for 9,827 Rand 18 cents. On the 25th of January, Mr. Ntuli received some interest from the bank. The closing balance on the credit card account was calculated as 28,135 Rand 76 cents. Now let's take a look at the 5 finance questions. Question 211 asks you to interpret the balance brought forward for this statement. Here you have to explain what this value means with reference to the negative sign in front of it. The negative 50 Rand 41 cents means that Mr. Ntuli overpaid by 50 Rand 41 cents, or the bank owes Mr. Ntuli 50 Rand 41 cents. In question 212, you are required to state a reason why the digits from the account number has been left out of the statement. A possible reason for leaving out some of the digits could be to protect the client from being a victim of fraud or to protect personal information. In question 213, it is stated that the bank uses the formula below to calculate the credit card withdrawal fee. You have to verify using this formula whether the withdrawal fee of 8 Rand was correctly calculated by the bank. A withdrawal fee is charged by the bank anytime a person withdraws cash from an ATM. 8 Rand was charged for withdrawing 350 Rand. According to the formula given, the bank charges its clients 2 Rand for every 100 Rand or part thereof. The part thereof means that if an amount is a portion of 100 Rand, in other words, less than 100 Rand, it is counted as a full 100 Rand. In the case of 350 Rand, there are 3 whole 100 Rands and a 50 Rand which is a portion of 100 Rand. You count the remaining 50 Rand as a whole 100 Rand. So this gives a multiplier of 4. That is the 3 whole 100 Rands plus the 1 part of 100 Rand. So the total fee will be 2 Rand multiplied by 4, and this gives us a charge of 8 Rand. Since the charge you calculated is equal to the amount charged by the bank, you have to state in your answer that the correct fee of 8 Rand was charged. If you don't make this last statement, you will lose 1 mark. Question 214 instructs you to use the transaction details to show with calculation how this closing balance amount of 28,135 Rand 76 cents was calculated. The closing balance is determined by finding the difference between the total debits and the credits. The total debits for the month is 350 Rand plus 8 Rand plus 18,503 Rand 49 cents plus 9,827 Rand 18 cents, and this equals 28,688 Rand 67 cents. The total credits for the month is 50 Rand 41 cents plus 500 Rand plus 2 Rand 50, and this equals 552 Rand 91 cents. Finding the difference between the total debits and the total credits is 28,688 Rand 67 cents minus 552 Rand 91 cents. This gives us a closing balance of 28,135 Rand 76 cents. In question 215, you are instructed to give one disadvantage of Mr. Ntuli buying items using his credit card. So a possible disadvantage of buying an item on credit card is when buying items using his credit card, he will pay a higher interest if the outstanding amount is not paid in full within the 55 interest-free days. Question 2.2 consists of 6 finance questions that were designed to assess your understanding of financial tariffs in the context of a bus fare tariff table. You are given a bus fare tariff table that shows the stage number, cash fare to these stages, and 5 monthly ticket prices, each with a certain limit of trips. Here you have to think of a stage as areas along a route to a final destination. Question 221 asks you to define the word tariff according to the given context. The context part is important. Simply writing down the general definition of the word tariff won't give you the full marks. You have to give the definition of the term tariff in relation to the bus fare context given here. So an acceptable answer is, a tariff is a rate of charge for using the metro bus by customers. Question 222 instructs you to calculate the cost of a return fare paid in cash to a destination in stage 7. A return trip means a trip from the start location to stage 7 and then back from stage 7 to the start location. The cash fare to stage 7 is given as 31 Rand 30 cents. This is the cost of a one-way trip to stage 7. So a return trip will cost 31 Rand 30 cents times 2, and this gives us a cost of 62 Rand 60 cents. In question 223, you have to calculate what the total cost will be for 6 return trips to a destination in stage 2. A return trip to stage 2 will equal 15 Rand 90 cents multiplied by 2, which will equal a cost of 31 Rand 80 cents. Since this person has to make this trip for 6 days, the total cost will be 6 days multiplied by 31 Rand 80 cents per return trip, and this will give you a total cost of 190 Rand 80 cents. In question 224, you are instructed to draw 2 graphs on the same set of axes to compare the cost in question 223 with what Mr. Ntuli would pay for a 12-trip monthly card. This graph must be drawn on the graph paper provided in the answer sheet. The easiest graph to draw is the graph for the 12-trip monthly fare. It's a fixed cost of 143 Rand 30 cents over a period of 6 days. Fixed cost graphs are horizontal graphs, so the graph for the 12-trip monthly fare will look like this. The cash fare graph is also a straight line graph, however it has a variable cost of 31 Rand 80 cents per day. Each day the cost will increase by this amount, and the total cost will depend on the number of days traveled to the destination in stage 2. The cash fare graph will look like this. Notice that the graph starts on day 1 and therefore is not drawn to the y-axis. Question 225 is divided into 2 questions. You have to use the graph that you drew in question 224 to answer these questions. In question 225a, you have to write down after how many days it would be cheaper to buy a 12-trip monthly card. From the graph drawn in question 224, after 4 days, the 12-trip monthly fare will be cheaper. In question 225b, you have to identify the cheaper option for this person. Based on the graph drawn in question 224, for a 6-day working week, the cheaper option will be the 12-trip monthly fare. Question 3.1 consists of 5 data handling questions that were designed to assess your ability to analyze data presented in a table. You are given a table that shows the economically active population of South Africa for the third quarter in 2021. The table lists the professions and the number of people that fill those positions per race. All values are given in thousands. Question 311 instructs you to calculate the total number of people actively employed in South Africa. The total number of people actively employed in South Africa can be read off the table here. Since the value is in thousands, you will have to multiply it by 1,000 to get the true value. So, the total number of people is 14,281 multiplied by 1,000, and this equals 14,281,000. In question 312, you are instructed to determine the median for the Black African population. The first step to determining the median is to arrange the data in ascending order. So we must arrange the values from the smallest value to the largest value. The arrangement will look like this. The median is the number that divides the number of values in the data set into two equal groups. Because there's an even number of values in the data set, you will have to find the mean of the middle two values. This answer will be the median. The median equals 791 plus 919 divided by 2, and this gives you a median of 855. Multiplying this value by 1,000 gives you a value of 855,000. In question 313, you have to determine the average of the Black African population. The average is also known as the mean and is equal to the sum of the values divided by the number of values. The sum of the Black African population is given as 10,698 in the table. So the average equals 10,698 divided by 10, and this will give you an average of 1,069,8. Multiplying this value by 1,000 will give you a value of 1,069,800. In question 314, you are required to state with reason which measure of central tendency is a better representation of this data. Your options are between mean and median. The mean, also known as the average, is best suited for data that does not have any outliers. Outliers in a data set are values that are extremely high or extremely low compared to the other values in that data set. If you take this data set as an example, you will have two outliers, which are skilled agriculture and elementary. Skilled agriculture is very low and elementary is very high compared to the other values in this data set. The median, on the other hand, is not affected by outliers because the median only returns the value that divides the data set into two equal groups. This is the median for the same data set which was calculated in question 312. Notice that it is not affected by the outliers. So the better measure of central tendency is the median because it is not affected by the outliers which this data set has. In question 315, you are given the range of the total actively employed population. You have to determine A, which is the lowest number in that data set and is represented by the profession of skilled agricultural workers. The range is the difference between the highest value and the lowest value in the data set. So the equation for range is the highest value minus the lowest value. Substituting the range of 3,471,000 and the highest value of 3,534,000 and rearranging the equation so that the lowest value is the subject of the equation, this will give you the lowest value of 63,000. 3.2 consists of 3 data handling questions that were designed to assess your ability to analyze data presented in a compound bar graph. You are given a compound bar graph that shows the percentage change in salaries between developing and developed countries from 2019 to 2021. In question 321, you are required to read off the graph the year that showed the biggest percentage change in salaries in both developing and developed countries. From the graph, the year with the biggest percentage change in both these types of countries was 2019. In question 322, you are asked to describe the general trend in the percentage change in salaries from 2019 to 2020. From 2019 to 2020, there was a decrease in the percentage change of salaries. In question 323, you have to calculate the average percentage change in salaries for South Africa. The average is the sum of the values in a dataset divided by the number of values in that dataset. So the average change in the percentage of salaries is 6,5 plus 4,3 plus 5,2 divided by 3 years. This will give you an average of 5,3%. Question 4.1 consists of two finance questions that were designed to assess your understanding of personal income tax. You are provided with the monthly taxable income of a 45-year-old businessman that belongs to a medical aid. You are also given an income tax table for the tax year 2021 to 2022. Below the tax table, you are given the tax rebates per year and the medical aid credit details per month. In question 411, you are instructed to calculate the annual taxable income for this person. The annual taxable income is the total income earned per year. This person's taxable income will be 39,500 Rand multiplied by 12 months of the year, and this will equal an annual taxable income of 474,000 Rand. In question 412, you will have to use the answer in question 411 to calculate the monthly income tax that is paid to SARS. The first step in this calculation is to identify the tax bracket applicable to this person. With an annual income tax of 474,000, he falls into the fourth tax bracket. The tax rate for this tax bracket is calculated using the equation 110,739 plus 36% of taxable income above 467,500. So the annual tax before rebates is calculated as 110,739 plus 36 over 100 multiplied by the difference between the annual income of 474,000 and 467,500. Now the brackets part of the equation must be calculated first. This equation then simplifies to an annual tax of 113,079 Rand. The next step is to deduct the rebates. Since this person is younger than the age of 65 years, he will only qualify for a primary rebate. So the annual tax less rebate is 113,079 Rand minus 15,714 Rand. This equals an annual tax less the rebate of 97,365 Rand. Next, we have to deduct the medical aid credits. This person qualifies for a medical aid tax credit of 332 Rand per month. This amount multiplied by 12 months of the year must be deducted from the annual tax. So the annual tax less medical aid credits is 97,365 Rand minus 332 Rand multiplied by 12 months of the year, and this gives you an annual tax of 93,381 Rand. Finally, the monthly tax is calculated by dividing the annual tax by 12 months. So the monthly tax equals 93,381 divided by 12 months of the year, and this gives us a monthly tax of 7,781 Rand 75 cents. Question 4.2 consists of 3 data handling questions that were designed to assess your understanding of box and whisker plots and the information they provide regarding the median, percentiles, and interquartile range. You are given 2 box and whisker plots of the salaries in thousands of rands for the law and business fields. In question 421, you are instructed to determine the difference in the median salaries of the law and business fields. From the box and whisker plots, the median salaries for these fields are given by these lines in the box. The median salary for law is about 74,000 Rand and the median salary for business is about 85,000 Rand. So the difference between the median salaries is 85,000 Rand minus 74,000 Rand, and this equals 11,000 Rand. In question 422, you have to calculate the interquartile range for the business field. The interquartile range is the difference between the value of quartile 3 and the value of quartile 1. For the business field, the value of quartile 3 is estimated as 95,000 Rand, and the value of quartile 1 is estimated as 76,000 Rand. So the interquartile range is 95,000 Rand minus 76,000 Rand, and this equals 19,000 Rand. In question 423, a statement was made that 75% of people in the law field earn a salary less than 50% of people in the business field. You will have to verify showing all calculations if this statement is correct. From the box and whisker plot for law, the 75th percentile corresponds with the line on the right side of the box. The 75th percentile is also known as quartile 3. The estimated salary for the 75th percentile of law is 84,000 Rand. From the box and whisker plot for business, the 50th percentile corresponds with the line in the middle of the box. The 50th percentile is also known as quartile 2. The estimated salary for the 50th percentile of business is 85,000 Rand. Comparing these two values, we see that 84,000 Rand is less than 85,000 Rand. So, the statement is correct. Question 4.3 consists of 3 finance questions that were designed to assess your understanding of financial budgets on a national level. You are given the information that the total amount of 248.8 billion Rand was allocated to the health sector in 2022. You are also given a table showing the funding of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout budget for the 2021 and 2022 financial year. The values in the table are in millions of rands. In question 431, you have to calculate the decrease as a number in the total allocated budget from 2021 to 2022. Then you will have to give a reason for this decrease. From the table, the total allocated budget for 2021 is given as 6 billion Rand and for 2022 as 3 billion Rand. You have to remember that the values given in this table are in millions. The difference between 6 billion Rand and 3 billion Rand is 3 billion Rand. There is a decrease in the total allocated budget for 2021 to 2022. A possible reason can be that most of the population received the vaccine in 2021 already. In question 432, a statement was made that the vaccine rollout funding was less than 1% of the total budget allocation for the health sector in 2022. You will have to verify if this statement is correct. In 2022, the total amount of 248.8 billion Rand was allocated to the health sector. The total allocated budget for the 2022 vaccine rollout was 3 billion Rand. This value as a percentage of the total allocation for the health sector is 3 billion Rand divided by 248.8 billion Rand multiplied by 100%, and this gives you a percentage of 1.2%. Since 1.2% is more than the stated 1%, you have to state that the statement is incorrect. Not making this statement will lose you 1 mark. In question 433, it stated that 17.6 million people were vaccinated in South Africa. This is 29.7% of the total population. You will have to determine the total number of people in the population. 17.6 million people equals 29.7% of the population. The total population as a percentage equals 100%. It should be obvious that the total population should be more than 17.6 million people, but by how much? The total population is 17.6 million multiplied by the ratio of 100% divided by 29.7%. This will give you a value of 59,259,259.26. But you can't have 0.26 of a person, so you have to round this number off to the nearest person, which will give you a total population of 59,259,259 people. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and if you found this video helpful, you can subscribe to be notified of more videos like this, and you can check out this video next.